Welcome to episode 3. Now in this episode I'm going to cover off some SQL basics or select basics, and what I'm going to cover off is how SQL actually processes a SQL statement. So we're going to cover off the 6 steps from select right through to order by. So let's switch to SQL Server Management Studio and take a look. Okay. Here we are in SQL Server Management Studio, and straight away on the screen what we have got is how SQL processes a query. So this window is the query window. This is where you will write a SQL statement, and what SQL will do is it will process in this particular order: from, where, group by, having, select and order by. But in this demo what we're going to cover off is just a very simple select statement. So what we're going to look at is step 5, which is select. So it's quite far down in the list of processes. But what we're going to do is a very simple hello world. So we start with select, then single apostrophe and hello world. Okay. Now what we can do is we can execute this, and what it'll do is it'll bring it back in a nice table format similar to what you would see in Excel, and what we can see is hello world in that column. And what we can do actually, if we want to improve it so we don't have no column name, we can actually use as, and what we can do is we can call it example. And instead of pressing execute, we can use F5. So if I press F5 now, there we go. We've got example and hello world. Now, step 1 is from, including joins, and joins is another section. But in this episode, I just want to move on to from. So this is, imagine you go into a restaurant and you select something from the menu. This is exactly what we're doing in this scenario. We are selecting data from a table. And what I'm going to do is put select, and let's say you are in the same restaurant and you want everything on the menu. What you would use is asterisk. So select all or asterisk from, and what we'll do is we'll build that on episode 2 and we'll use person. So as you can see, Microsoft's IntelliSense. So this is this box on the screen. So Microsoft's IntelliSense has popped up and it's saying actually there is a schema within AdventureWorks 2019 that is called person. So what I can do is I can press tab or I can press enter. But we've got this red squiggle. This is Microsoft SQL Server saying, look, there's an issue with your query. And if we hover over it, it's saying invalid object name person. And this is because a schema on its own can't be used. And what you'll need to do is provide the table name. So if I press dot, Microsoft IntelliSense should pop up, and it has done. And what we can see is address. Because this is all in alphabetical order, what we can do is press enter again, and we can see everything from person.address. And there we go. So we've got hello world, and we've got everything from person.address. Now in the next episode, what we're going to look at is the rest of the SQL processes. And what we'll do is we'll build a query. So what I would say is, before episode 4, have a play around with different tables, have a look at the data, become familiar with select and from, and I'll see you in the next episode.